Coming off their first ACC win of the season, the Virginia Cavaliers lost an incredibly disappointing game to the Miami Hurricanes on Saturday, 14-12, after 4 overtime periods. The game between the Hoos and Canes at Scott Stadium was nothing short of a deflating loss for Virginia, and certainly was one of the most boring games of football you'll ever see at Scott Stadium, as neither team found the end zone during the 4 overtime contest. However, if you're an avid special teams fan, this contest was nothing short of electric. The first 10 drives of the game ended in punts, 5 from each side, while the contest was all tied up at 6 at the end of regulation, thanks to an Andreas Borregales field goal as time expired to send the game into overtime. In the first 2 overtimes, Borregales and Virginia kicker Will Bettridge exchanged field goals to extend the contest. By the 4th overtime, NCAA rules gave each team a 2-point conversion opportunity, which the Hoos failed, and ended with this game-winning run by redshirt Miami quarterback Jake Garcia. As has been the story thus far, the Virginia defense was solid, holding an admittedly weak Miami offense to just 272 total yards and forcing 8 punts. With the defense playing well, the Virginia offense had plenty of prime opportunities to put points on the board, but those points embarrassingly never came. Let's take a closer look. After punting on all 5 of their first half possessions, the Virginia offense finally put a drive together, with Armstrong finding Keaton Thompson for this nice 30-yard completion on 3rd and 15. On the very next play, Armstrong found Lavelle Davis for 47 yards, setting the Hoos up on the Miami goal line. It's hard to complain after a 47-yard gain, but the ball by Armstrong was underthrown, settling the Hoos up on the goal line instead of in the end zone. Virginia showed an uncanny ability not to put the ball in the end zone, starting with this 7-yard loss on 1st and goal, and ultimately leading to a field goal. We have to go back to Armstrong's throw to Davis here. This ball was significantly underthrown and cost the Virginia offense a touchdown. Bredin is more than capable of making those types of throws, which is why it's so frustrating to see easy points being left on the board. This theme continued throughout the game for the Hoos. On their very next possession, Armstrong found Mike Hollins on 3rd and 9 for the longest play of the game, a 64-yard gain, setting the Hoos up once again with a 1st and goal situation. On 1st and goal, Xavier Brown got stuffed. On 3rd and goal, a trick play incompletion. Opting to go for it on 4th and goal, Virginia failed again to convert with this brutal drop by tight end Grant Mish, leaving the score knotted at 3-all towards the end of the 3rd. Virginia's very next possession at the start of the 4th quarter was much of the same. Armstrong and the offense put another drive together, including this highlight completion to Billy Kemp for a 1st down, followed up by this nice run from Paris Jones to set up the Hoos in the red zone once again. On 3rd and 2 from the Miami 4, Jones was stuffed by the Miami front, and the Hoos were forced to settle for a field goal to take their first lead of the game at just 6-3, despite being inside the Miami 5-yard line on 3 different occasions. Miami took over and found themselves with the 1st and goal towards the end of the game, primed to score the first touchdown of the day and walk away with the win. But fortunately, the Virginia defense, who battled all day, came up with a huge stop, stuffing the run on both 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down to force Miami to settle with a field goal, sending this contest into overtime, knotted at 6-6. Both offenses, unsurprisingly, struggled in overtime, trading field goals in both of the first 2 overtimes, leaving the game tied at 12, heading into the 3rd, and eventually the 4th overtime, where the teams switched into alternating 2-point conversion attempts. Virginia continued to struggle on the goal line and couldn't find the end zone, and it was only a matter of time before Miami ended it with this game-winning run from Garcia. Virginia will host number 17 ranked UNC next weekend, Saturday, November 5th at 12 p.m.